This is the second worked example for arrays, dealing with traversing arrays. The subgoal labels for evaluating array statements are subgoal 1, set up an array from 0 to size -1. Subgoal 2, evaluate the data type of the statements against the array. And subgoal 3, trace the statements, updating the array slots as you go. Remember that for any assignment statements, you can go back to your assignment subgoals. Let's look at the problem we want to solve. Assume that we have the following given declarations, int bracket bracket alpha. Evaluate these statements and determine the value of all the variables used. If any error occurs, give the reason. Subgoal 1 is to set up the array from 0 to size -1. Here, alpha is equal to new int 10, so alpha is declared as an array of integers that will have 10 slots. Notice that the largest index is 9, which is the size of the array 10 minus 1. Subgoal 2 is to evaluate the data type of these statements against the array. Here we have a for loop for int I is 0, continue as long as I is less than 10, and increment I by 1. Inside the loop, its alpha sub I is equal to I times 10. The loop has an index I that goes from 0 to 9 by increments of 1. Inside the loop, the value I times 10 is placed into the position alpha sub I. So for every iteration of this loop, all of the array indices are within the bounds of the array, 0 through 9, and all of the values being assigned, 10 to 90, are valid integers and can be stored in an integer array. Here we see a table that has the value of I and then the value of I times 10. Subgoal 3 says to trace the statements, updating the slots as you go. The resulting array would look like this. Alpha at position 0 would contain the value 0, or 0 times 10. Alpha at position 1 would contain the value 1 times 10, or 10. Alpha at position 2 would contain the value 2 times 10, or 20, all the way up to alpha at position 9, which would contain 9 times 10, or 90. That is the end of this worked example.